On the road, by the time I woke up in the morning, there was coffin on the bed instead of the girl. And he ran out. By the time he got, people ran it back. When he ran out, he went to call people. By the time people got there, the coffin was gone. The girl was gone. And this girl was picked around water.
To me, it is a force for you because it is not of God. It is one of the spirits that rebelled with Satan, and it's one of the demons.
The Bible says when Lucifer wanted to overthrow God in heaven, when Lucifer was thrown down, he didn't come down alone. He came with agents. Principalities came with him. Familiar spirit came with him. Marine powers came with him, which is marine spirit, talking about all these things came down and took over the world. The truth is, Satan governs the world. But God is the superior being.
So when we look at these phenomenons from a Christian perspective, it will never make sense because they always look at these phenomenons as disgraced angels that God chased out and they took over those parts and manifest through the water. That's where they say the land spirits are demonic. They are demons. They are people that fought against the sovereign of God. But when you ask questions from an ancestral, an Igbo perspective or an indigenous perspective, how did these things come about? So from the Igbo creation story, it is said that after the great sorrow that befell the creator Okike, that's the loss of his wife, that triggered a catharsis for the creation of the world, the universe. Now, the events that followed after led to the creation of these kinds of phenomena. That was where Oshimiri manifested, which is she manifested through the tears of Okike. Now, that's the Igbo perception. So if you look at this from an Igbo perception, you would see that it makes more logical sense. Now, it spread worldwide. Now, it came down to now from, let me say generally from a universal perspective. But this is how Igbo people understand it. Oshimiri, it's a direct aspect of the creation, the creator. Events that followed suit. So they all tell stories because we believe here that the sun, the land, the trees, all those things, they tell stories. Ajani to Ndibo is a custodian of not just morality but memories, especially the marketplace. We look at the market and we say, Afia bebe mwana madona azwaya. This means that every human being living or that lived, that was born within a certain environment, passed through the market. If it is not you, it is going to be your future generation, or it could be your ancestors. It could be those that walked the earth before you. All of them in one form or another walked through a journey, through the market. They all walked through the market. So when they now, that's why they will tell you if you want to, like people that consecrate or constitute the Alpha strings, what they do is they perform some rituals at the market. You steal some things at the market. You bury the Alpha strings at the market. Why do they do all those things? Because you look at Alpha as an instrument, Alpha strings as instruments that you can use to, have conversation with the universe and derive cosmological knowledge about a person, their future, past, and present information. Alpha Basel. Now, when you go to the market, people gossip at the market. So when they are there, they are gossiping, they are saying things left, right, and center. Now, when you bury that Alpha there, it is dragging those informations. This is when the Libya strings it, flips it, the leader can be able to get some quantum information about a person. Now that's the Igbo knowledge, that's the Igbo logic. So the church and her agency have capitalized on this misinformation, and oftentimes they classify these things that they do not understand as demonic, as disrespected, or demons, or angels that were sent down, that revolted and were sent down to basically cause havoc in the earth. But that's fear, and that's parading misinformation on people, and disregarding their history and their origin.
To send that time to fẹ́ yọ sí mi ẹwẹ mi fúnra mi gan ọmọ ọkọ truck mat mo ọkọ truck yìí onítẹ̀ ń jókòó obìnrin ni tẹ́ bá irun ẹ̀ báyìí ó ń wọlé ni àmọ́ mi ìrírú ẹ̀ o mo rí láti bí báyìí ní mat ọmọ jáde sí mi aago 2 òru ló gbé jáde a sì jókòó onítẹ̀ má bẹ̀rù àjókòó ó sì wá sọ fún mi pé òun Mammy Water àwa jókòó àwa sọ̀rọ̀ mata so ṣe gbogbo ya tí wọ́n fi ń jẹ mọ́ ní gbogbo ẹ̀ lòún rí ohun tẹ mọ́ fòyà ohun tẹ ṣe báyìí ohun tó bá yẹ náà àgbé mi sókè mi sì rí lẹ́jọ́ mẹ́ta mi rí changes mi sì ṣe oògùn mi ṣe nǹkan kan a máa jí láàárọ̀ máa pe Ọlọ́run mi mo bá pe Ọlọ́run mi tán máa tún wá túbà fún omi.
I've witnessed a woman once off the festival who visited the river, waded into the river, and was talking directly to the river goddess. And she was saying that if you don't answer my prayers, I might be tempted to find another husband. What for me was striking and very moving was that this was a one-to-one conversation with a deity. And it has to be a demonstration of faith.
Anybody asks for in this modern day time. You cannot skip what people ask for. Nigeria is a very tough country to live in, so everybody is virtually looking for where to get their next meal from. For some people, they believe that when they venerate or when they interact with marine spirits, it is going to manifest wealth, it is going to manifest prosperity for them. Now, the Igbo belief system will tell you that if any need them, every beautiful thing comes from the water. Whether is it prosperity, whether is it wealth, whether is it whatever. Now we need to understand that the Igbo perception here looks at the ocean as the primal ocean of consciousness. Now we can even extend it, because every single human being was basically held onto by the mother within the amniotic sac, which is a fluid substance. So Igbo people could literally say that Miri baby madusiwe biowa. Now they can't actually be making reference to the woman's womb, the amniotic sac where the baby is incubated before delivery. So these things are just basically how people understand things and try to make it make sense to them. Hence the reasons why it is basically seen in a certain way, even though it might not necessarily mean the same thing exactly, but people are just trying to use it to make sense to their own reality. So because everybody has different intentions or different things that basically they want to manifest, people can go to the water to pray for prosperity, for wealth, for success, for long life, or whatever thing that suits their immediate need. And it doesn't mean that what they want to ask for or the channel that they want to ask for it is demonic or devilish. It simply means that they understand their system. Because Igbo people will tell you one thing is that they believe that God dwells within the water, within the ocean, because God is everywhere. God is universal. Now, the marine spirits or marine entities could even be a separate form of the creator. Because they believe that the creator can basically have several manifestations, and Oshimiri, Mammy Water, could be one of those manifestations of the creator. So when people go to the water to ask for something, they are at the same time asking for stuff from the creator. So I found it very interesting that the best people to actually ask questions about things that we do not understand are not Christians. If you want to understand about Igbo spirituality, how do we interact or how do we understand the Mammy Water phenomenon, you don't go to a priest, you don't go to a bishop, you don't even go to anybody that is overtly religious. You simply go to people that understand, that have interactions with these phenomenons. Now listen to this woman and see her own interactions, and also hear what she has to say about the marine spirit. And mind you, this is not just a hard situation. There are countless other people that have benefited from this system, and then benefiting from this system would also tell you that there is nothing demonic about, you know, interacting with water spirits, because in as much as you can interact with a water spirit to manifest some kind of a wealth or a creativity, whatever you want to manifest, it also calls you to have morals. It calls you to be pure, not just of body and mind. And anybody that approaches this water spirit must be pure of heart, and they have to be pure of body and soul and spirit, because nothing dirty can approach the water. And nobody that is dirty, has a dirty mindset or a dirty heart, would have apparitions of the Mammy Water. Before she approaches you, she needs to make sure that you are pure. So when you see people that have interactions with water spirits, you just have to know one thing, that they are under strict restrictions to be pure. And the day they begin to violate themselves is the day they lose that communication. We saw it more mothers. Now, once you lose that that thing about you, that purity that you have, they let you go. They basically will not want to interact with you. So whenever people want to perform any water, marine sacrifice or anything, it's essential that that person is pure, mind, body, and soul. That's the Igbo interaction about it.
Mammy Water, Yawani. Òun sì ní kò fi àjẹ wá wà lẹ́yìn wọn ní gbogbo ìgbà ni, ó wà lẹ́yìn wọn ní gbogbo ìgbà. Omi téèyàn bá jí, téèyàn bá bomi sára, oyin ò ní wà happy. Tó bá jí láàárọ̀ di dandan tó kì, tó bomi sára, ara ẹ̀ á tú ẹ̀, á dẹ̀ so wá dẹ̀ sọmọ, á dẹ̀ sálàáfíà. Ọ̀rẹ́ yẹ o.
Her devotees are generally.
Finally, Igbo people don't really have festivals that celebrate the marine spirits, because any festival, maybe let me say a deity in a community could be having a festival, and the deity has some, you know, water aspect of it. Holding the whole celebration. But unlike, Yoruba people that have their Yemoja kind of festivals, now Igbo people don't have something like that. So if you want to interact with this aspect of divinity, how do we do it? We do it under 3 separate institutions. The first one is Ikpe Iroma, the rituals of seeking for blessings. Ikpe Iroma, Ile Oma, the rituals of seeking for blessings. Now the second one, we call it the Ibu or Ekwa, Ibu Miri. Now what we do here is basically to carry out gift items and send them to, take it to the water and, offer supplications and, call our Ndio to, water family and tell them this is what we are giving to you, this is what we are offering to you. And as we are giving you this, bring back something up for us, bring up that material wealth that we have in the water, bring it up to us so that it's going to manifest physically for us. Now the third one is for people that have spirit spouse. What we call those rituals is Ekwo Ngomiri. It is usually done for a woman by her supposed husband. If you're a man and you have a marine water spouse, there are also rituals that you can do, but that's the general perception. So these three, it's not limited though. There are in various communities can have different ways how they interact with this water spirits. Now for people that are going to be dibia as and one, they also perform this ritual that we call ikugote miri, and having a separate house or a separate place where they put or keep that particular water and venerate that water that they've already brought up into ikugote miri chigi nenuane. So once they've brought it up, they can now go to that interface and offer supplications instead of going down to the water, to the original location of that water to constantly perform rituals there. So once it's up and it's close to you in your house, they just basically use it there and perform all those rites and all those rituals that are basically within their immediate home or their environment. But that's for people that have akaraka dibia. So what again am I missing about this interaction? Water spirits are primarily known to be women, but we also have the masculine aspect of it, because wherever we are in this life, men and women have to exist. Feminine and masculine energy have to always exist to make sense of this reality. So irrespective of the water entity is primarily made for women, it is also made for the men as well. Men also go there to pray. They also go. Even some masculine manifestation and even some water spirits in Igbo cosmology are primarily masculine. Like when we talk about the Nilu Olase is a masculine energy. Eze is a masculine energy. So that's the Igbo interpretation of what the Mammy Water is. Don't forget, we call her Nemiri Ezenwani. Or in Imo State, they call her Njaba. They also call her Oguide. She has so many names. Some we can even say it's just a primordial force, one single force that is being manifested, or how would I put it now? A single force that is manifesting in several outlets. Because for instance, in the Navy, we have this water, Obo. Now this same water can flow into another community, another village, and that people will know that same particular water via a different name. So the water energy is, to me, like I said, within the origin story, birthed Oshimiri. Now within communities gave her different names, gave her names in how they interact with. Then they can even have origin stories. They can even have myth around, build a lot of myth around her existence. But the truth is that it's a primordial force, and it is being interacted with as a powerful entity, as a powerful energy that is not necessarily malignant. Now, she can be benign in some certain situations. She can be benign in some certain situations, especially when you go against some of her certain laws or her nso. That she can be very, really, they tell you don't hell had no fury for a scorned woman. It also applies, and that's because we Igbo people, we believe Kodina Mado, Kodina more. As we do it in this physical world, so is it done in the spirit world. So yeah, this brings us to the end of this. So this brings us to the end of this episode, because that's what I'm going to call it, an episode. And later on, we're going to do hopefully we'll be able to do a more extensive one, have communications with people that understand the system, and get to hear from personal experiences. So until next time, yeah guys, yeah.